All right, everybody, welcome to the Weekend No Show. We're back in the house, ready for another episode, so strap in. Today, we're talking about aliens. Aliens, not movie aliens, but real aliens. Do they exist? What's the story behind them? How do we feel?
Oh man, I thought we were talking about movie aliens.
No, man. We're trying to
Okay.
dig into the real question of life, man. What's going on? Are we alone in this universe or not? So on the Weekend No Show, you got me, CL Smooth, getting the hosting chair back once again. I got my man JG in the house. What's good, Jay?
Yo, man, what up?
My boy LAT, the insidious LAT. Talking that BS once again. What's good, homie?
What's going on, fellas?
We. Oh no. Oh yeah. This boy's a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll over there, man.
He was serious about that. Okay.
Hey JG, just have the trigger finger ready to cut his mic if we need to.
Cut
Okay.
that mic off, man.
All right. So what motivates today's topic, folks, is I think it was late last year, the U.S. government, finally came out and admitted publicly that there are things that have been going on that they cannot explain. They're not saying that aliens are real or that UFOs are real or anything like that, but there are definitely what they call unidentified aerial phenomena. They don't know what it is. They don't have an explanation for it. It goes beyond kind of the typical swamp gas and lights from Venus and other kind of explanations that people that are interested in the subject of UFOs and aliens have never been satisfied with, have always made us question whether or not the government's being honest with us. But they came out and said, "Hey, there's something going on. We don't know what it is." And so that's opened the door to say, "Okay, maybe we're not alone in this universe." So my first question to either one of you is: have you ever had an alien experience or any kind of unexplained experience that's like, man, I don't know what this is, some kind of supernatural thing? Have you ever had anything like that, or known anyone who's experienced that?
So I've never had an experience like that. I used to work with somebody who that was kind of his claim to fame. You know how work gets around a office, like so and so said this happened, and I listened to him, and I have to be honest, it sounded like the movie Panic in the Sky had come out,
Mm.
or not Panic. What was it called? Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky.
Fire
Yeah.
in the Sky. And suddenly, then this guy said he had this experience. And what are you supposed to think at that point, man? You saw the movie, and I listened to him, and he claimed he was. A lot of times they say they were paralyzed and they couldn't move, and then they lost time. I don't know what happened, and then I woke up and I felt as if things had my body felt weird, and it just seemed to me like he saw that movie. So no, personally, I haven't had that. I only had one person claim it, and honestly, I just didn't believe it because the movie was kind of in the zeitgeist at that point, and it seemed like he was impressed by that movie.
Just being influenced. What about you, LAT? You ever had any experiences with unexplained phenomena, or anyone that you know?
Yeah, I've had a couple of situations where you know everybody says it. Well, you see, I've seen some shit in the skies a couple of nights here and there, and I was like, that ain't no fucking helicopter, that ain't an airplane, but it's definitely a light moving around. Maybe it's a weather balloon or something, but yeah, I've definitely seen it, and I just chalked up as alien. To be honest with you, I was like, well, that's got to be alien.
Where did you see that? Where was that?
Out here in California, so out, just out because the bright skies and whatnot. But yeah, just up in the sky. Just sometimes I get weird and just stare at the stars.
Well, it's funny because
So
I'm totally like I believe that there's other life in the universe, if for no other reason, just the force of the math of the probabilities, in a universe so big that we'd be the only life in it. I find it difficult to believe. Um, but there was someone in my family that said that they had an experience where they were driving and they saw an alien like craft like shoot over their car and then back again. And the funny thing about it is like, as much as I believe in it, I didn't really believe them, you know? Not that they didn't see something, but I'm like, okay, was it really an alien? And I wonder if we're just, kind of just so skeptical of these kind of supernatural things, that we dismiss a lot of things that could be credible. That's why I think it's important, or an important milestone, at least, that the government has come out and said, hey, yeah, there's definitely stuff up there that we don't know what it is. It's not ours, and we don't know if it's another country or what it is, but it's defying explanation. And so it makes me think, well, yeah, maybe sometime in our lifetime we're gonna finally get an answer to this question. Is there other life out there? Um,
So is have they decommissioned, what is it called? Is it Area 52
51.
In
51.
51, Area 51 in Vegas?
Uh,
Or in the
I think it's still active.
So you know what? If they really want to if the government really or the military really want to just sort of, let us know what the deal is, just open that shit up. Let us all take a look.
Well,
That's another reason why I believe that aliens exist. Is like, for aliens not to exist, our country went through a lot of trouble to hide something that doesn't exist from us.
well, I definitely agree with that. They seem to have done a lot to flip the story around, because my understanding of like the original Roswell incident, which was like in the late 40s, right? The initial reports from the military that it was some kind of saucer, and then they flipped on it and came out with the weather balloon thing, from then forward. But I heard on a podcast recently a different kind of theory that I thought was pretty interesting and maybe very plausible. Is that we've got the government, right? We've got president, we've got Congress, we've got all the elected officials and whatnot. But they said that there is I guess you'd use the term shadow government, in the sense that there are people, whether they are longtime military officers, CIA agents, powerful people in society, whatever, who.
Court of Owls.
What's that?
The Court of Owls.
Let's do with the Court of Owls.
Yeah, they call that a shadow cabinet, essentially.
Right. So these people have actually been sitting on alien information and technology forever, right? And so even some presidents and other elected officials can't get information. They block them out. Their stories of not giving them access to this type of stuff. And the explanation behind it is that we actually have a bunch of technology, particularly like technology in the field of renewable energies and that sort of thing, that would make like our dependence on oil totally obsolete. And so because of that, these different powerful factions have suppressed that, because they get most of their power and wealth through the oil companies and the sale of oil and the control of the world through oil. And so that's part of the reason why you have parts of the government that are hiding this knowledge, and even official elected people can't get to it. So I don't know what you guys think of that, but I thought that was a pretty interesting kind of theory, and would explain why you have, sometimes it seems like the government is coming out with some information, and other times they're giving you bullshit.
Yeah, I think that was the storyline of the last season of American Horror Story. Not this last one, but the previous one in double feature, where Eisenhower essentially, he was contacted by the aliens and he was forced to go along with this. They went through so many administrations. I love that part of it. Everybody hated it except for me, but I would definitely recommend watching just that half of the double feature. The first part was the vampires, the second part was the aliens, and I thought it was very interesting how it might happen, how these aliens might then come and influence our development, and our political structure to get what they want. And, by giving us advanced technology, access to advanced technology, which then they drip out at the correct time. Like, okay, hey, now we came out with this. So nothing like, they don't jump 100 years ahead, like, and here's our, gravity generator. No, they come out with something that makes sense at that time. So yeah, it I always felt like it's similar to what you said, Smooth, like the numbers. I actually looked up the numbers where it was like we have 400 billion stars in the Milky Way, and 20 billion of those stars are like the sun. They're sun-like stars. Right. Then 1/5 of those, was at 4 billion, have Earth-like planets in the habitable zone. So then they said, if like 0.01% or something had life, there should be like 1 million planets with life. And that's the Fermi paradox. Where are all the aliens? Given the numbers, where are they?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. So there's a lot of different approaches to the Fermi paradox. One person I was listening to, I don't know if you've heard of him, Lou Elizondo, who actually worked on one of the government's secret programs, I think, to study the question of unidentified aerial phenomena. He wasn't making this argument, but he was saying one of the arguments that could be made is, for the reason the government is not being more forthcoming, is that you could say that, like, aliens haven't stopped any of the wars that have happened on Earth. They didn't stop Hiroshima, the first atomic bomb. They haven't stopped any of the conflict and stuff that's going on the Earth. And so everyone who's saying, like, aliens are benevolent and they're on our side and all this kind of stuff, he's like, well, are they really, right? Because they haven't intervened to stop any of the horrific events that have happened on Earth. And if you take that into account, he's saying, well, what happens if they're observing us, right? Just kind of see where we're at in our development. But if we come out and make it known that we know for sure that they're here, does that accelerate whatever timeline they have, and then they become more aggressive? You know what I mean? So that's kind of like his explanation as to why some government factions would not want to, make it more broadly known publicly, because we don't really know what's going on. And obviously, if they're from another planet, it's going to take really advanced technology for them to even get here. So we would be hopelessly outmatched if their intentions are hostile. So that's a question. I mean, we don't have really any evidence either way, but what do you guys think? Do you think, aliens that intelligent, that advanced, have moved beyond, violence and hostility? Or is it something that is it kind of like the dark forest theory where, there's dangers out there. We should be quiet. We shouldn't be so eager to make contact with these things. Belly, what you think?
I think that, well, I don't know this, but I'm guessing that aliens, they, much like Star Trek, they have a prime directive. They're like, hey, we can't interfere in their natural evolution. And so while they can come and watch and sort of observe, they're not gonna help or intercede in any way, because it would go against human beings' natural evolution. And so as a result, they just come in, they just enjoy the show. So, it's like watching girls fight. You don't jump in.
Okay.
Okay, we just went left there, ladies.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, everybody. I'm just saying. But you don't jump in. You just let it happen. You just enjoy the show. You don't you let things fall where they may. And I think that's, assuming there are aliens and that they are in fact visiting our planet, they don't get involved, because that's not what they're here for.
Well, let me ask you guys this. JG, you can jump in on this one. If an alien ship was to land right in front of your crib, right, and an alien comes out and, like, motions to you to, like, come on board, what would you do?
Oh man,
get my gun.
Yeah,
I'm grabbing my gun.
I grab my. I'd be on the phone like, "Hey, this mofo is out here. Come get him." But honestly, I don't think that would happen, because if we look at things like Stephen Hawking said, Stephen Hawking, where he was talking about, we really should not be so quick to try to meet these aliens should they exist, because it's going to be very traumatic. And we have to look at what the word is. I mean, alien. This is something outside of our experience. I just don't think that any of their motivations will be anything that we can, if we can even comprehend it probably won't be something that we're aligned with, that we're going to like. And I would, people like, oh, I wish I could meet aliens, and not me. I don't want to meet any kind of creature or intelligence that is so far outside of my experience. I don't know what it wants. I don't know what its motivations are. I don't know what drives it. And I got a feeling that we don't want that to happen for a long time. And I was looking at a panel of on World Science Festival, and they were talking about alien life. Would we even know it when we saw it? And they were saying there was an astronomer, then a planetary astronomer who's actually looking at the conditions of the planet, then a geneticist and a physicist and astrobiologist. And they were saying that they feel that there will be alien life discovered within the next 20 to 40 years, but not intelligent alien life. They're talking about microbes, bacteria,
Right.
things like that. And they're fully expecting to discover that sort of alien life. And they said intelligent alien life, we're hundreds of years away from that. And that's just fine to me.
Yeah, unfortunately, and I hate to admit this, man, but I know it's true. Is that I'm one of those dudes that the alien ship lands and I start walking towards it. You like, motherfucker, run away before they kill you. I'm probably one of those dudes who's gonna get you know knocked out and dragged
Get
off. Just
probed. Be
yeah,
getting probed,
well,
man.
I'm not trying to get probed, man. Nah, ain't no Megan Hall stuff going here, man.
No.
But I'm so curious about life and the universe, and just to me it's just like such a beautiful mystery, man. Like sometimes I just laugh to myself, like when you think about it, like where the hell did all of this come from? Why is there anything at all? You know what I'm saying? Like even the smallest speck of dust, why is there anything at all? And it just makes me laugh, just like in an amazed way, a grateful way that we even exist, man. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's like I just call it the most beautiful mystery. So I would definitely, unless he came out looking like a spider or something like that, because I can't deal with no bugs like that. But
Bugs.
no, man, I can't
Oh,
do that.
No.
But I would be very curious. I would be, I'm not saying I wouldn't, have some nervousness about it, but I would be more likely to engage than not. But I would say this too, is that I think we shouldn't be so quick to assume that they're going to be so far advanced, um, because I think just with the vastness of the universe, I think I wouldn't be surprised if there's millions of other Earths just like this, with human being type of beings very similar to us, just in different parts of the universe. And there are different reasons and ways that a society could get advanced technology, but they haven't advanced. You know what I mean? I think we're an example of that. We've got nuclear weapons that could destroy, civilization on this earth, but our society is not very advanced psychologically and emotionally as human beings. We have anger, we have jealousy. Um, we don't get along with each other very well. We have insecurities. We worry about things that aren't that important, superficial things and whatnot. Yet we have this great advanced technology. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are other societies like that, and either through accident or random breakthroughs, they get advanced technology where maybe they could visit us. So I don't know that they would necessarily be peaceful, but I don't know, man. I know they say curiosity killed the cat, but I'm just so curious about life. I wouldn't be able to walk away from it unless, again, like there were some kind of bug aliens, and then in that case, nah, I can't do it.
so I think that aliens are here and they're just we just assume that there's some weird species of animal, but they're aliens. And we just kind of is like, oh, that's a rare, I don't know, that's a rare white monkey. And it's really just an alien that's hiding in plain sight.
It
So
could,
like a
it could be
scroll.
Yeah,
scroll.
scroll.
It,
Yeah.
it it could also be, you know, I know mainstream science and archaeology doesn't believe this, but it could be that there have been other civilizations on this planet, and through cataclysm and war, whatever it might be, civilizations have been destroyed or interrupted, but there could be some remnants, whether they're living deep underground or under the ocean, or have transformed in ways, like Vel says, that we don't recognize as alien, but they're actually far more intelligent than we give them credit for, and they're really observing us in a way where they're part of society, almost, that, like they're a form of bird or something like that. We don't take no notice of it, but they actually are observing us. So I think all that is possible.
And I also wanted to say that I think that if there are aliens here or have been here, they'd have to be super advanced in that, just just the idea of space travel and sort of coming to a place with with a different atmosphere. You've got to be pretty technologically advanced to sort of be prepared for all of that. So
I think that's
if they
true.
are, yeah, if they are out there, they're way advanced than us, especially if they visited us.
I was
So
just
that
thinking
means,
I was thinking of like
go
an
ahead.
outlier situation, Phil. I think your logic is sound there, but I was thinking of like outlier situations of, like, so there's claims that UFOs, flying saucers, whatever you may call them, have crash landed on Earth. Well, what if we captured one of those, recovered one of those, and were able to make it fly, right? We don't really have the technology to build it. We don't fully understand it, but we can operate it, right? Like I can drive a car, but I couldn't put one together. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Right.
know all the science behind it. So that's why I was saying, like, we might, it's possible we come into contact with other alien life that maybe they're more advanced than us, but they're not that far advanced, because through some kind of random event they got access to technology that gives them that opportunity. You know, so.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think there's
Well,
been any aliens here
how do
whatsoever.
you explain Superman?
Yeah, anyway.
Wait. So JG. So how do you explain all these reports and like Roswell and all of that? What do you think all that was? Just weather
Well,
balloons, government stuff?
it it could be advanced craft from another nation, or even more likely, I would think actually more likely than aliens is us from the future and coming back to observe these primitive times, and then they get busted. But I think that is more viable than a whole other species crossing interstellar space. I mean, those numbers, I mean, when people say astronomical, sometimes they don't get it. Those numbers are just incredible. And to come here and then spy on little old us, it just doesn't seem right. And I read this book by Carl Sagan. It was called Demon Haunted World. And he was saying how people would write to him constantly and they would say they were in contact with the aliens. They're here. They want to help us and they are here. And Carl Sagan would, he said what always would happen is whatever was the hot topic of the day, that's what the aliens were interested in. They want to help us with smoking. They want to help us with AIDS. They want to help us with whatever is in the news. Then suddenly the aliens are just very interested in that. And I just don't see. I mean, I don't. I really don't see aliens coming to spy on us. That's something that we made up. We write Star Trek and think, oh, we go spy on aliens, and then therefore they must be doing it to us. And these stories have been out for generations, even before TV, before radio. These stories are being told, and they just get into the public mind, and then people think it must be an alien. And it's interesting because I'm such a Star Trek guy. I'm just Star Trek, and every sci-fi show there is, I read the sci-fi. I'm talking about like hard stuff. Like the sci-fi that I read is not character based. This is plot based. Stuff that a lot of people probably wouldn't read, and that's the stuff that I read. But no, I don't believe we've been visited. And people get surprised by that. What do you think? No, I don't think that. What? Don't you watch all that stuff? Don't you read all that stuff? You read those comics and stuff? Yes, I do. And that's pretty much why I don't believe it, because I can see the overtones of all these stories and such in people's hope that there's something else out there. But as far as I know, I mean, I think that there likely is alien life out there because of the numbers, and I just don't think that we've seen that, and nor will we for probably hundreds of years.
Well, do you guys want my conspiracy explanation for aliens and all that?
Oh God, is there any way to prevent this? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Here's what's really going on. I think is follow up on my comments earlier about there being like a shadow government. I think that there are groups of people from the beginning of civilization who have worked together with the aim of creating like a one world government, right? And I think this has been going on since literally since the beginning of humanity. And so I think these craft that we're seeing are actually man-made, human-made craft. And what they've been doing is, whether it's genetic experiments, breeding experiments, taking it's kind of like that. What's the Marvel character? Natasha Romanoff, right? They took her father, who was like this great wrestler, and her mom was like a chess prodigy. Isn't that right? And they
Yeah,
had
Black Widow.
yeah, Black Widow. They had them get together and they birthed this child who's got all these genetic gifts. I think it's totally plausible that some human entities, organizations have done stuff like that, and whether they've really altered the physical form of humans, and that's kind of the aliens that we see, or that are reported, or not. I don't know, but I do think there's a plan where they can use a. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just relaying a story of a of a conspiracy theory here. That they're going to use the pretext of like an alien invasion or something like that to unite the world into a one world government, and get more control over all the different countries and that sort of thing. And so there's been kind of this parallel, deep black project that's been going on to create advanced technology, powered by and led by humans who have been genetically bred to be faster, stronger, smarter, all that sort of stuff, so that when the time comes when they're ready, they can use this technology as part of a broader plot to take over the world. So that's what's coming next. Merry Christmas, guys.
Well, now
So,
we
but
know,
you know what?
and knowing is half the battle.
You just brought up an interesting point though. So during Independence Day, where was China? Where was Russia? Where were the United Emirates? We had to save the planet. United States, our Air Force. Where was everybody else at?
A lot of them were destroyed. They were
talking about the Will Smith movie.
Yeah, they were pinned down, and there was a scene where they went around the world and they showed these people saying, "Okay, the Americans have something. They have something," because we had Area 51, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they were trying to fight back, but unsuccessfully.
Well, that just goes to show that we are in fact number one.
Oh God, there goes our viewership. There goes our readers.
Little jingoism for you there.
The stats will be going down now.
All right, so let's wrap this up with the final, probably the most important question when it comes to aliens and other life forms out there. Alien ship comes down, brothers, and a fine ass alien comes out, green, couple eyes,
three titties,
three titties, and she's like, "Hey, what you gonna do?" Belly,
well,
JG,
I mean,
what you gonna do, man? Are you gonna claim she groomed you, or what you gonna do, man?
In the interest of science, I'd have to do a probe.
JG, you're the hard scientist, man. What you gonna do, man?
I'll tell you exactly what I would do. First, I would throw down a smoke bomb, and then when the smoke cleared, I would be long gone. Hell no.
Hey, what if that alien chick she's just the alien version of a passport brother? Like, aliens on her planet, they're not giving her what she wants, so she came to our planet.
Hey, passport bros don't automatically get what they want when they go overseas. You know what I'm saying?
So
So they're gonna come all the way here to just take advantage of us, of us humans.
She's like, fuck these. She's like, fuck these Martians. These Martians ain't giving me what I want. Let me see what those Earthlings got going on.
She ain't getting it from the kid. I can tell you that much.
On that note, folks, get your intergalactic passports ready. At the Weekend No Show is going to be broadcasting live from Venus or Mars or one of these planets anytime soon, man. Hey, like, subscribe, leave your comments. You don't like what we say, you like what we say, you agree, you disagree. We want to hear from you. We appreciate y'all. Brothers, any last words?
No, man, I'm out.
Belly?
I just would like to say that E.T. was based on a true story. And that's all I will ever believe. That shit really happened.
This is another Weekend No Show. We appreciate y'all. Tune in next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.